Hey guys, this is episode 16 of Stich Joe Talk CS Go. We're back in our comfy two-panel show, but we had a good run with the guests. So I mean, we're always looking for more. I think it adds an interesting dynamic, don't you?
No, I like it. I think it's good. I think there were positive responses from people. I think for people that actually sat through the entirety of the last video, I think there were a lot of good hidden gems in there. The kind of why we started this show that we try to provide ourselves. But obviously, the players have a completely other kind of set of knowledge that even we don't necessarily have. So. I learned something, you learned something. I'm sure the people watching also learned many more things. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. I was told there was some keyboard noises. That probably was Whitmer.
That was Whitmer.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. But it was. I enjoyed it, and I liked the setting. With the fire in the back. But anyways, yeah. So I am.
Yeah.
Stitch.
We'll definitely be doing more of those.
Yes, we will. I'm Stitch, of course. That's Joe. A bit of a delayed intro, but I mean, you guys know what the deal is. If you're watching the show, you already know. And we're gonna get right into it because we missed a lot. I think we need to keep good pacing here because we got a long one. Yeah, we really don't want to go too long because that legit equals less views, and this is the only way I'm earning money right now. Just kidding.
That's not accurate.
That is not accurate. But yeah, okay. So, anyways, a lot of action, mostly in the core area of CS:GO. So. I did notice when I was drafting the outline that Asia's been dormant. I mean, we have some pieces of news here and there, and that Russia, Oceania, kind of just on their usual cycle, You remember back in November we had a lot of Asia news?
Yep.
It's not the case so much, but yeah, a lot of stuff happened. First of all, we got to start with the big things. In this case, it's the Swathe to Liquid move, and replacing Hiko.
Replacing question mark.
Kappa.
Yeah, Kappa.
No, I mean we don't know, but that's what has been intimated by reporters, right?
Yeah, we'll just go with that. We don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be Hiko for sure.
Yeah. Did they release a story? I didn't read it anywhere else. Or am I just?
It was Slingshot. It was DK at Slingshot reporting.
That's right. Yeah.
The swap.
Yeah.
Which, according to what I know, is accurate.
Yeah.
So,
well, anyways, basically the only official part here is the swathe thing. Anything to say about that? I know a lot of people were sad. I saw a lot of sad faces.
I think it's a pretty surprising move, actually. Stan has been part of that core for a while now at this point, other than that kind of 2-week absence where they brought Tarek in and Stan was out, but then Stan was back in, sort of a deal. I think Stan has been a really underrated in-game leader. He's getting more recognition now as Optic has made their ascent up in the rankings. But basically, if this deal kind of goes the way that everyone is thinking it is, which is the straight Stanislaw Hiko swap, then essentially it fixes all of Liquid's problems and it fixes none of Optic's problems. It gives Optic a whole new host of problems, which is that they now have no in-game leader to speak of. Hiko, of course, has IGL before, but not really to great effect, not for long periods of time. And it's always really impacted his personal performance. So there's some screenshots floating out there suggesting that they may be looking at Peacemaker as a solution to bring him in as a coach. We've talked about the Peacemaker sweepstakes previously on here, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some more screenshots of Peacemaker coaching every other team in Pro League as well.
Maybe he's just the owner of NRG while we're at it.
Yeah, he could be. He fired himself. Yeah.
Only an owner could do that. Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of, I guess, until the dust settles, it's a little bit up in the air with who might be off of Liquid. Because I saw something else. This wasn't an intimation that multiple people are leaving, but I remember Cadian tweeting something like that. Elige, Nitro, and JDM congratulated Stanislav for coming, or they like mentioned in a tweet, but both Hiko and Pimp were silent about it on Twitter.
Well, so I can tell you that Hiko and Pimp were the ones that left Atlanta immediately after their exit. The other three stuck around.
Like at least. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Pimp is in Europe right now, I believe, because I think he's pinging pretty high right now, or at least that was the report that I had heard from some teams that were pracking with them. And the five that they're playing with right now in the qualifier they are indeed Sans Hiko. But yeah, it is possible that another move will happen that could be related to some Europe stuff, so we can talk about that later.
Okay, cool. All right, so be on the lookout. So a few other roster moves. So Complexity, this was a while ago, but I'll just mention it. Complexity dropping Ape and adding Desi. Pretty expected, right? Ape never really lived up to it much.
Yeah, I mean, this actually dropped like right after we finished recording the last episode, and it would have been a great thing to talk about with Sean. Obviously, or both those guys actually, former Complexity players. Ape had kind of come in to replace Whitmer. Yeah, Ape has never been like, or at least on in recent times, like a stats-heavy guys, and we kind of talked about it on the last show, where literally it seems like that is the MO of that team, that organization, where if you were at the bottom of the scoreboard, you're going to be the one that gets dropped. So it was borne out actually very quickly.
It legit came. It was another instance of us talking about something that came true.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're good like that.
Yeah. All right, so we also had this strange move of Davey to United.
Yeah.
So what's this all about? I have to say that I kind of saw it and was like, what? And I didn't read about it.
So he's replacing Connor from the, he had a stint with Selfless because he's one of Mainline's old boys.
He's a bit of a meme on this show because I talk about his alias changing.
Yeah, Pussy Slayer.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. So he was kind of left the team right after their Philadelphia win because he has a real life job. He couldn't dedicate as much time as maybe he wanted, maybe as the team wanted, and they brought in Davey. Which kind of makes sense because you have the Splice connection there with Jeremy and Abe. It had been, thought for a while that Davey was, Davey definitely had interest from Pro League level teams. And so I don't really know what happened with those, if it just didn't work out or there was a change of thinking or maybe people just weren't as high on him as he thought and they thought. But United figures to make a pretty solid run in Premier this season, and definitely would expect them to be contenders for Pro League next season.
That's what I was going to ask you. I thought people were talking about some sort of chance, or like that he was being scouted, blah blah. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened.
Yeah. Alrighty, so. Oh wait, I just wanted to. Nope, I spaced out. So, no, but I swear when you were talking about him, I wanted to say something, but I don't remember. Anyways, so what's the deal with these esports arena qualifiers? I saw some of the lineups for the first one. It was like it was what? CLG Red, Denial,
and Splice are like the three pro teams.
But aren't there some kid? Isn't like Floppy going or people like that?
Floppy is not there, I don't think, but there are some premier players there. Well, actually, Poyo is there in a mix. Poyo from Rush, who just made Pro League. There's some premier players mixing it up. You got Juice, Hazardous, Predator, these kind of guys. Check, another one. But yeah, so no Tyloo, like the last one of these guys that went down. But you do get a mixy version of Splice with Mo and Shroud. You get CLG Red and
Mo and that's right. That's this interesting Splice mix there. Yeah, well, finally, the esports arena is kind of weird in that like they host those big iBuyPower things, and then they have their little CS:GO things, but they always were promising like a wider thing with qualifiers, and I don't know if it ever came through. I mean, it was being promised in 2015, and this might be the first instance of an actual lengthy tournament series coming out of there, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, no, so that's what's happening with these. There's going to be 3 of these qualifiers that have like $3,000 prize pools, and then there's going to be at the end of it a bigger tournament with like 20K. So 2 teams will advance from each of the qualifiers, and there will be 2 invites to the bigger thing. So there'll be a 8-team LAN.
Gotcha. So I don't know why I wrote that in the middle of all these roster changes. I guess I was just following the HLTV stories. So now we're going back up to the high level. So anyways, well, you have expressed on Twitter as of 10 minutes ago before we started recording, and just to me, and probably before to others, your frustration with the lack of news from the Brazilian teams. Certainly the FNX to Immortals thing is much more set in stone, or not set in stone, but like much more. There was a story about it. There was a news story about it. That's what I'm getting at. But can we possibly guess at why there's a news blockade?
Yeah, I mean, it's would be a fairly logical assumption to say that the teams themselves, and by that I mean the organizations, have not been able to come to terms with each other on the details of swapping FNX for Phelps. I mean, it at this point is no secret that FNX was hanging out with Henny and Lucas, the twins, for the entire break, essentially. Flew back to America with them, has been at the Immortals house. Phelps, likewise, has been at the SK house. He was in Atlanta with SK, wearing an SK hoodie where everyone could see him. We even took his DreamHack summer or winter MVP picture outside of the team hotel with him wearing the SK hoodie. So it's not like anyone's trying to hide the facts other than like the teams themselves, which would seem to suggest that it's a problem with this, as mo money, mo problems, always. And I have no idea what exactly the details on that are. All I can tell you is that I'm annoyed.
Isn't it kind of interesting that the problem of money is coming up between 2 teams that technically stand on the other opposite sides of the fence in the larger macro economy, as in an ES Force team versus like a team that was not behind, but kind of
involved in the PEA.
Involved in the PEA. Could that have something to do with it?
I don't really think so. I think, like, certainly if these were 2 WISA teams doing it, then there might be some mediating that might happen through WISA. I'm not sure about that. That would be a possibility, certainly.
Well, that would make it easier or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facilitate the process.
Yeah, but I mean, you also have the ES Force thing thrown in there as well. Right, it's actually, SK Gaming actually isn't part of WISA, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, right. They weren't announced originally.
Right. So ES Force and PEA. Sorry, not WISA. But neither of these teams either are like hurting financially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they have deep pockets.
Immortals is a VC team. SK is just a premier, top of the pyramid team. Yeah. Alrighty, so this was kind of weird. It just came through in the middle of the major that Muffin Lightning had added Professor Chaos, the only thing that people casters can ever talk about, his high sensitivity. I will also use that epithet. The high sensitivity god is back.
Yep. Yeah, he's back. I mean, obviously filling in for Arky Monday, infamous Land Dodger, or at least Land Dodger who will forever now live in infamy. And yeah.
They basically swap Muffin Lightning. I mean, this is possibly the greatest team to play Counter-Strike of all time, and what they basically did is they swapped out one old man for another, so you can only see it getting better. In fact, Professor Chaos is 1 year younger.
Right, than Arky Monday. Yeah, Arky Monday is like a stealthily super old dude.
Yeah. That's what happens on you, man. Age just
and he'll be like 130 by the time he can play ESEA again. So
is that how long he's banned for?
The original ban was for 100 years, yeah. Still shorter than Bloominator's ban.
But we are getting to that.
I can't wait.
Guys, whatever. We'll get to it. Also, so the whole Splice roster was just fucking disintegrating in front of our eyes ever since they couldn't play well last season.
Since they couldn't be good.
Yeah. So, the whole Rick's drone, then we had, Davy gone, and then we had Machine Gun gone, and then now Asilian's left. Kind of foreseen. All interesting, though, because the dude went ahead and got a U.S. driver's license, so...
Right.
That, throw that one in the trash can.
Yep.
Although it might come in use again. But what I thought was funny about this story was the interview he gave to HLTV. The famous line about Tinder.
Tinder? Yeah, that was great. Tinder's just not enough,
I mean, I understand. Like, they had a job to play CS and stuff, but if you want to meet people, you can. I don't like excuses about meeting people. But, I mean, I'm not blaming him.
Especially, you would think, as, like, a European, you know what I mean? Like, in America, like, especially somewhere as fruity-tooty as California, like, they're gonna be all over that shit.
Dude. You have your European accent in the U.S. All you just need to do is get the net out and start running around, and you'll catch them like butterflies, man.
Yeah, I actually saw Config and Maceboy actually doing that in Atlanta. They had a net between them, and they were just running up and down the streets.
Really? You saw them courting women?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I wish. That'd be great, though.
I have a story of a player I saw that was courting a woman, but I guess I gotta save it for a bit. When I feel it's time to bring it up, I'll bring it up. But yeah.
You just did bring it up. Now you're just cock teasing us all.
I am. I like doing that. Anyways, yeah. So I believe Splice are down a member now, right? Or weren't they seen practicing with a player?
Well, they're officially have 4 people right now, but they played the that last chance relegation match with Semphis as their 5th.
Right. Okay.
Is there
anything to that?
I mean, it's hard to say now that they're in Premier for a season. Like, that might have been something that was contingent on them making pro for it to be a long-term situation. We'll just kind of have to see who they start playing with as their Premier season gets started.
Gotcha. Or maybe they had Semphis do a tour of the pro house, and he noticed there weren't 3, barrels of whey protein. He was like, no.
There wasn't enough lean cuisine or whatever the meals that he has that he travels around with. That's just great.
Hey, when you got to build, you got to take extreme measures. All right, final thing. Can we talk a little bit about what happened to Echo Fox with their Pro League spot? And also just maybe I'll just mention here that Selfless were the ones who claimed the last chance EPL spot. So the most aggressively promoting team on Twitter is still in Pro League. Do not worry.
And Ryu is very happy about it.
Yes.
As you might expect.
Yeah.
As would any owner be happy. But so Echo Fox did not submit a full roster to ESL on time, even though they had stated that their intention was to field a roster way back when. You have to remember that the last season of Pro League ended almost 4 months ago at this point. So it's not like there hasn't been time to do so. And they did not. So the only members of that roster from last season that are still maybe tied to that organization are Freak and Roka. So whether they intended to import a team or build an American team around those guys, none of that came to fruition, or at least not in time for Pro League to start. So their license was voided, and we had Splice and Selfless play. Selfless 1-2-1, and Selfless themselves are interesting in that they currently only have 3 people officially on the roster.
Right.
They have been playing with Slemmy and DSR, and I saw that CJ the King has also joined their ESCA roster, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But I would expect an official announcement before the start of Pro League.
It's fine. I'll never forget that ESCA pub I played where CJ the King went underpass every single round and just fucking nutted on me. I would be like, I would jump up on the little wooden easel in window and bah, over and over. I wasn't playing smart though, like I wasn't adapting, so good play to him. Anyways, do you think Rick Fox gives a shit about esports anymore? Or do you think he's just like, peace?
No, I mean, I definitely think he does. I think that the organization might just be reorienting to something that they think might be a better long-term investment. I mean, they made a huge investment into the fighting game scene, Street Fighter specifically. They made a huge coup. They scooped up 3 or 4 players from Evil Geniuses, some foreign players as well who have been free agents for a long time, and these aren't like, these weren't like the dregs of the North American CS:GO scene that they had signed previously. These are all legitimate top tier competitors. So,
can we talk?
What are you making a face at me for?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Can we talk about the fact that Echo Fox were a thing?
Yeah.
That those 5 people got in the server together. Let's just, I don't know. I'm not hating on all the players. I'm just thinking that those players combined is a disaster. It is the rape of Nanjing.
And think about the players that were also involved. Like before that final roster, you had Mo in there. You had A2Z, the best player in the world there. You had Ichiban in there for a while. Ichiban, the Muffin Lightning God. Legend.
No, I'll rep that, but way too many like stream / popular / puggy personalities on the team. It was great. It was like a meme explosion in your face for a while. Anyway,
yeah.
So
but we've seen that those individual components, Sean and Shazam, have moved on, and not TSM Misfits are looking good. I mean, they've only played qualifiers so far, but they've qualified for everything that they've played. We'll see how they do in the Katowice qualifier that they're currently playing right now.
Aren't they playing? Yeah, they're playing right now. Liquid took the first map, 16-8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Stanislaw. It's drunk.
Stanislaw, as people say.
Stanislaw.
The way people pronounce Polish names in the U.S. is really funny, but whatever. That's a story for another time.
How do you pronounce it?
Stanisław.
Stanisław? Nah, dude.
That's how it is. Stanisław.
Stanislaw, bro.
All right. I hate the way they pronounce it because it just makes me think of coleslaw. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
I fucking love coleslaw. Do you don't love coleslaw?
It's good, but it's just sloppy. All right. Anyways,
coleslaw heavy.
Speaking of coleslaw, in Europe. No, but anyways, so we had these 2 big. Also, DK reported, and probably before that, Don Hossie reported, knowing that pattern.
Well, I mean, Vicarm and the Flickshot boys were on top of the French shuffle for sure.
Yeah,
and I mean, this was being set in motion even like before the major qualifier. So, I mean, the wheels of this was an unstoppable thing regardless of what happened at the major. Like, this was going to happen, and they were going to sort out the details later.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you ahead of time that it's like I kind of struggle on these big team switches because it's one of those areas where you'll have the bigger fish in this thing make their own videos and talk about it, and B, I'm not much of a statistics guy. I can only give you humorous anecdotes. And yeah, I don't know, it's just so, like, for example, fnatic GODSENT, I don't really have anything to say, but I mean, on G2 Envy, what I did find interesting was some of the Scream's behavior on Twitter was kind of interesting. Seemed a little bittersweet in a tweet or two. I guess there was that existence tweet too.
Right, with RPK.
Yeah, with RPK. Like, how could you do this to me, bro?
Yeah, and that one is even hard to say. Is he talking about RPK not joining LDLC? Is he talking about RPK stealing XMS from him? Like, it's hard to tell exactly. Is he just fucking around? Who really knows? It's hard to say.
But anyways, in the grander scope of things, at least for the French one, and I'll let you handle the Swedish one more. In the grander scope of things, this is, as opposed to like what happened in Denmark where we had the dominoes going down, down, down. This is more of like a complete like flipping.
Yeah, this is just a mishmash. Yeah.
Or something. So it's not an implosion. It's, aside from affecting, XMS being brought up and the other guy whose name I can't say.
Devil Duvek.
Yeah. So otherwise it's just, the mishmash. Scream probably on his way to an international team or to just being a streamer. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure he still wants to play. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that, I don't know, we'll have to see how G2 do. I kind of have my doubts. I really do. I can't say why.
I mean, we've never, like, really, for all these years, we've never seen Shox and Kenny, like, on a team together. So it's exciting. That prospect is exciting. And we saw it working in action even on that first match they played against Flipside today, where it was the Shox and Kenny show at the top of the scoreboard. And that's the way that it should be when that team is functioning, like, the way that it's going to.
Well, I do have to say fnatic beat them in this Katowice qualifier 16-6 on the first map.
Mm-hmm.
But it was their map pick. So, and we all know how fnatic are on that map, those original 5. So
right.
So, well, yeah. So I guess we'll see. But I just see that there's, you know, with a passionate guy like Kenny S and Shox, you know, there still could be some tempers could flare. But I guess they recognize that. Maybe people think more about VP and how they've stayed together, and they've got Smiths, aka professional Shoxy back rubber, backing them up. I did see he retweeted his like retirement tweet. I mean, yeah, it was sweet of him to write it that way.
Yeah, I mean, like Smith has like whatever you think of him as an individual player, he has accomplished a fuckload during his time playing this game and Source, you know, and during Source he was a legitimate top player. So yeah, I mean, it's the end of an era for sure.
You know what? Actually, on that note, we're getting a little bit spaced out, but we're finally seeing the I would say the first, or maybe it's like the second, but generation of players who were good at the beginning, not of 1.6 or Source, but CSGO, starting to get bad now as younger kids get better.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of a purging and a filtering out of like the old guard, for sure.
And then the old guard who were bad in the beginning of CSGO, like Mo, are just dog shit now. can't hit a single frag.
I don't know. I haven't seen what he's doing at Esports Arena right now. Maybe he's tearing it up right now against main level puggers. Yeah.
Anyways, okay. So, anything you want to say about the Fnatic GODSENT swap? I mean, GODSENT, they're back on our plate, the tier 3 plate, the Who plate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Did you see that Facebook post from Doplin earlier today? Doplin made a Facebook post and he was like, "Oh, well, it's like official now that I'm out of Fnatic and into GODSENT." And he's like, "Yeah, like the chemistry in the team wasn't that good. Like, and it really hit home for me when after we lost and Olaf like started yelling at me and Twist and stuff. So it's like, ooh, all right,
ooh, spicy.
Yeah, a little spicy memes." So I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be good for Pronax. Like, it seems like Pronax relishes working with these young talents and then grooming them to be stolen from him. Like, it seems like that's kind of like he's accepted that. And we talked with Pronax at length actually in Atlanta, and he's a super smart, super chill dude. Definitely still has the hunger and the fire to build a top team, but like I think he realizes that
it's almost impossible
these
these days.
Well, I think he realizes that it's going to be really hard to wrest that kind of, like, that status from Flusha. Like, he speaks of Flusha, like, as a literal god. Like, he thinks that Flusha is the best player in the world. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So and he seemed, like, genuinely, you know, happy, like, for those guys. You know what I mean? And some interesting insights about like the original Fnatic lineup as well, like when he was in it as well, like before Dennis came along. Like interesting thoughts about like how that team worked and why it all ended and how it could have been avoided if maybe people were a little bit more self-aware, a little bit more mature at the time. So
yeah,
sidetracked.
There's definitely a strain of immaturity in those players, but I mean, well, they're aging, you know. They're probably getting better at working on it, so we'll see. I mean, the Alpha Lord, Dennis, is in that team, so how bad can it be? He'll rein everybody in.
He'll just fucking pull out that crossbow and just, like, be like, I'm gonna string you up.
How many Swedes have you met that aren't busy, that are like him and aren't busy writing apology papers to refugees or something? Like, I'm sorry for hurting your feelings.
Oh, just one.
Yeah, just him. Our Swedish viewers are gonna be like, "Fuck you, Stitch," but you're so right. Save me. Okay, so I guess that wraps that up. Obviously, one of these, like, we will see. Although, as we are recording, G2 and Fnatic are playing. G2 leading 7-3 on the second map.
Okay.
It's definitely an exciting time for these top level teams. The level of CS, bro. I didn't get to watch a lot of the Major because it was the craziest work week I've had and will have for weeks now. Like, it was a...
Hopefully forever.
No, it was really bad. I mean, I worked like 10 hours on Saturday. But anyways, I did get to watch...
So did all the people at the Major, so it's fine.
But then I also worked all the weekday. Oh, yeah, they did too. All right, you're right. Fuck. I'm nobody. Anyways, I did get to watch more of the playoffs, and holy shit, the level is so crazy. Honestly. Yep. People are playing in tandem. Pop flashes are perfect. Yep. Smokes, takes, the aim. Everybody's like on Adderall, but without being on Adderall. You know, they're just nuts.
No, those playoffs were crazy.
It was insane.
And I mean, that's why we had 12-hour days, because we had one series that went 2-0. Everything else was 2-1. Like, there were hardly any blowouts during the entire course of the playoffs. Like, it was nutty.
Well, we can talk about it in recent tournaments, but we can also talk about the record viewing numbers for E-League. And obviously, maybe Richard Lewis got it a little bit wrong because gambling still does exist. He made it seem like it was completely gone. But yeah, I think the strength of the games really carried that, and people were just fucking excited to see CSGO being played.
Yeah, we should talk about that later because there's like a whole other like thing, like complexities to that. You know what I mean? So we should talk about.
Yeah,
you want to talk about that? Yeah.
No, we'll talk about it later. It's just I'm getting you guys hyped for the latter part of the show. I've got a lot of duties to do here. So much. All right, so a few more changes. One happened during the Major. Freeze. The first my first interview ever.
Really?
Yeah, at ESWC, and I got a selfie with him after too. But yeah, he got benched from Heroic, and they brought in Cadian.
Yeah. Well, at least in the short term.
Yeah, in the short term, stand-in. Sorry, I didn't say stand-in.
Yeah, so Cadian's playing with them right now. Also on the Katowice qualifier, and I believe they're still in the upper bracket, or at least, well, they were playing Envy, so I don't know who won that match. But they were looking pretty good. Freeze, yeah, I mean, like, he's never, like, hit that level that he was at, you know, in, like, 1.6. So, sad reality.
There's a coaching career for him, I'm sure.
A what?
A coaching career for him, I'm sure.
Oh, coaching career. Yeah, I would say so.
Or infrastructure. Well, I mean, it's not the end of the road, but... Or it'll probably keep playing, right? Did he say something? I didn't follow it.
No, he hasn't. I mean, like, there's been no more official communication from the Heroic camp, but I wouldn't expect them to try to incorporate Cadian full-time. They definitely have their eyes on someone else.
Baruch!
No, not him. No.
They probably wish.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
No, because Freeze is an opper, and they want an opper, so it's fairly obvious who they would go after, but there's a huge amount of issues and complexities going on behind the scenes right now, and cloak and dagger type shit. So
okay,
exciting.
I think I heard some stuff, but yeah. Anyways, so all right, so that happened. And you guys ready? Remember how in the America section we went down into a trough and then we came back up to relevant teams? We're doing that in Europe too. We're talking about the Iberian Peninsula. So this is the Lucas part where he can just like watch and really quickly jack off and then not watch the rest.
And then be sad.
Oh no. So the first part is that we had Existence bringing in the ex-Kick Spain lineup. It's a never-ending circle. It's just the same people, the same shit, and yeah, that happened. But then, you know, Kick we're like, wait a second, it's a circle. We also need a team, so they announced a new team. I don't see the... Hold on, let me find it. I need to find the players. Okay, it's
like Roman and Muterus, and they have some young guys in there.
They have a Brazilian, Horvey, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Horvey, who is a Brazilian guy who he's over in Portugal because of his father's job or something like that. That has been tearing up rank G or rank S or whatever. So kind of exciting to see him involved.
Official Stich and Joe scouting alert.
Hell yeah.
Beep, beep,
Well, it's like a fun inversion of the Pain Kill Dream thing, right? Pain's
Yeah.
like 4 Brazilians and a Portuguese person, and now we have Kick, which is 4 Portuguese people and a Brazilian.
Yeah. So, anyways, that happened. So a bit of some movement happened in Spain and Portugal. I know you and I love to talk about that region as like a study for the chaos of esports. It's a microcosm, basically. Or no, wait, crap, I'm thinking of a really fancy word. I don't remember. Simulacrum. There we go.
Ah, there you go. Yes, it's emblematic, you might say.
Yes, you got it. But okay, so Assembly Winter's going on, and I didn't see too much, but I did see that Lurpus was playing. Although I think his team got it was the Kovanen brothers. I think they got smashed there, right? Or they played like close games, but they fell out.
They played okay. They finished like 3rd in the group, so they didn't make it to playoffs. But it was like, it was Lurpus and his brother Nasu, Alu, Sunny, and then Han or H caret N, like another old 1.6 Finnish player.
Let me see the teams because I have to.
But this has actually been a cool event. Like, there's actually like pretty good international representation. The teams that made it to the playoffs are like pretty diverse in terms of where they hail from, so that was kind of cool. Existence, who we just mentioned, made it through to the playoffs, so Lucas was happy about that. I know because I talked to him.
Oh yeah, good. Vex did not though.
Yep. Well, losing a player has that effect on people sometimes. Vex got kind of smashed. At least in their decider match against their countrymen.
Never forget that Vex have the old man, Jarod. It's like, Dad,
Jarod.
Why are you in my team, Dad?
Yeah.
Fuck, you haven't... Hold on, I'll try to show this on the show. But anyways, go ahead about the finals.
Tech.
Yeah.
So the playoffs were Outlaws from Bulgaria, iGame.com, who we're actually going to talk about in a second. Planet Key Dynamics, Germany, Existence, Spain, Singularity, Denmark, Dislone, French Mix, Rinakoi Dixit, or the Assault Mustaches, Finland, and Conquer Gaming, also Finland. So
I gave up on the tech because I didn't scale it properly, and it would just show everything that I have on my monitor. So next time, guys. But yeah,
pretty sure you promised this last time as well. So
I did. Yeah. There's still some, I got the new monitor, so there's a lot to no, I'm kidding, I'm making excuses. But yeah, I mean, I guess this seems more like a tournament that we'd be interested in. I haven't really kept my finger on it, unfortunately, but
I've been keeping track of it. The finals are going to be Dislone against Outlaws. So Outlaws kind of rising up in the void left by the EFrag guys, Mortal Kombat, the B Pro Shuffle. So
it's going to be a French versus a Bulgarian team. Do you think the results here have proven that there's no longer a good Finnish team? I mean, yeah, iGame flopped, so per their expectations. They did lose Zen, though. We're about to get to that.
Yeah, I mean, no, iGame are still, like, if it seems like Ents is in no hurry to put a team together. They vacated their premier spot. So, I mean, iGame are, like, the guys in Finland right now. And, yeah, I mean, they're a fine team. Like, they're the only team that Finland has that's going internationally. We have the ex-Vindictus guys who were also at Assembly will also be playing in Premier next season. So there will still be 2 Finnish teams in Premier. So there's still, players, and you still have Alu and Sunny like out there on their European mixes. So Finland still has like a pretty decent talent pool for the size of it, I would say.
Gotcha. All right, so right when the major ended, Mouse Sports wasted no time, absolutely no time, making a roster change. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so Chris J was benched and Oscar was brought in.
Yep.
I remember it was a little bit awkward because Spitty wrote something about having no words on Twitter, and Christian was like, "It's okay, we'll show them in Las Vegas."
Oh, I didn't see that. That's awful.
Yeah. So, can you give us a little bit of a scoop from the major? Maybe if you saw like certain players together, or did it look like they were going to do something in that direction? Because people are always, of course, like minus Dennis, minus Spitty, blah blah. You know?
I mean, I think by the time that I got to Atlanta, Nico was the only guy that was around. I think.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you came in. That's right.
Yeah, I wasn't there for the group stage.
You also have a job.
Yes, I do. Sadly. But yeah, I mean, everyone saw on stream like kind of the antics that happened after they lost. Everyone kind of saw that weird interaction between Dennis and Chris. We've seen like
I missed that. What was that?
They had just lost, and Dennis was still sitting, and Chris was like walking by, and they were like having some sort of a verbal sort of a thing with very aggressive hand motioning.
Gotcha.
I don't know. We've seen kind of like unbridled friction between Nico and Chris before, you know, in moments of passion, German Baltic passion. Shut up! Fine. So I mean, yeah. So I didn't really observe anything in Atlanta, but I will say this is like a bad move. Like Richard made a pretty long video about like how ridiculous this situation is, and like just how ridiculous mouse sports management is in general.
Seems that way.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely is seems like a case of, for whatever reason, they've decided to scapegoat Chris. I don't know what blackmail Dennis and Spitty have on the mouse sports owners, but like it's obviously fucking working because they're still on the team. And yeah, I mean, we've spoken about this before. Like we talked about how Nex like did not flourish in that team, and then as soon as he like was off the mouse sports purgatory bench and like got to reunite back with his boy God B, he's back to fucking popping heads again. Looking really good, having a mini career resurgence.
You know what it could be? It could be that as long as you please Nico on that team, Nico's like he has the final word. So maybe Dennis and Speedy are just really good at, you know, I was going to say sucking his dick, but I didn't mean it literally. I just realized how awful that would sound. But yeah, like just praising him and shit, and he's like, oh,
yeah, well,
nice
I mean,
guy.
they're obviously not good at like the game part. Or, you know, like at least not as good as they should be. Richard pulled up. There was some stats guy that did like a report, and he put players in quadrants based on their consistency. And both Spitty, and Dennis are in like the lower left quadrant, which is the bad one. Like,
negative on both values.
Yeah, it's going up this way. So like up here, you have guys like Cold, Zipex, like Rubino, like people that are always just gonna perform for you, and down here is like the naughty zone, and so 40% of mouse sports is in the naughty zone, and that's not good.
I shouldn't talk shit about Dennis though. He's one of like the few pro players who on Twitter praised me for something.
Oh, you're gonna be that shallow? Come on.
Yeah, I am that shallow, man. Especially when you're like the meme lord, so your picture captions smash people and you're technically upsetting them. You know, the few moments of praise you get. Shout outs to Taco. Live with you. They live on. Anyways, so kind of strange. Do you think, first of all, with the Oscar thing, nothing good has ever come out of the Czech Republic for Counter-Strike?
Certainly not journalists. Like,
Yes.
especially not journalists.
Certainly not.
Don't fucking hire journalists from the Czech Republic.
All
They're
right.
they're Garbo.
Dude,
Love you, Strikey.
the day Oscar has a major sticker.
Zhao will kill himself. Yeah.
Yes. No. I need to make some sort of ridiculous bet. What will I do? I will drive my BMW into a wall and film it. You heard it here first.
You're not gonna do that.
No, I'm not. All right. Okay.
That was just useless.
Does Chris J have a future though?
Does he have a future? Yeah. I mean, he could wind up in North America, I guess. Like, people are always looking for offers over here.
Yeah, but North America is like where Europeans go to die.
Yeah, but I don't. Do you see an opening for him on a top team in Europe? I don't.
No, neither do I.
So, I mean, maybe. No, not even FaZe. Like, you're not. I don't think you're gonna replace Alu with Chris.
No.
Nip Lappenopper, but they're not gonna switch to English for this Dutch guy to come op for them. That'll never fucking happen. So I really don't, and there's definitely not going to be a top Dutch team anytime soon.
You're not going to be playing with, oh god, what's that other?
Kaj King, and
he's like
Manu, and Mike S.
No, it was Mike S. He has the crazy HLTV picture where he's like, or he did. We might have switched it out.
So I mean, like, Mike S is out of a job right now as well. So maybe Chris J gets the band back together, and they try to do like a Dutch Ent sort of a thing.
Yeah, I was about to
say before he like realizes the same existential hell that Alu did and was like, I gotta get the fuck out of it.
It's not even that. It's like before he stops his little diversion, and he gets paid a lot to go somewhere, and the other 4 guys are like, well, fuck, I make €200 a week again. God damn it. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see anywhere for him to go. Like, there's like a rumor going around that maybe Big is taking a look at him, but I think that Big's results, like, in their so soon into their young life, like, don't constitute any need for panicking and making a change.
Agreed.
So
they did lose to Flipside though, but it was a crushing overtime loss on the Mirage.
Former Major Legends Flipside, dude. Okay, nothing to sneeze at. And Markelov is a great player, and anything you say bad about him means that you're a fucking terrible person.
I get the reference. I get it. Don't worry. I won't say anything, but I get the reference. All right, so anyways, we fixated on this mouse sports thing. I mean, it is an easy team to fixate on. Very quickly, in Lekek news, MK disbanded.
Again.
Again.
After playing one event, one qualifier. We're together for like a month.
Who tweeted? Who tweeted? Was it a player, or was it just a comment on Reddit? It was an HLTV comment. It was like, on the news story. That's right. And they said, "Hey, if you Bulgarians want to succeed, get rid of NKL. He is garbage and has destroyed every Bulgarian team. You'll never succeed with him."
Well, I don't know what happened. Did Spyleader say there was friction between him and NKL, or Nikki won? Those names like look exactly the same, so I can't remember which it was.
NKL,
but it was definitely
NKL.
one. Was it him and NKL?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like now truly the old like MK core is going to be completely like dismantled. Other than you have Bubble and Victor and Rogue.
Yeah.
But like if there's now, it seems like they all washed their hands of Dreamer. Bubble and Victor went over here, and like Spy Leader and NKL were like hanging on to those. Remember the good old days of just destroying online events and burning checks? Like, we can have that again. We can do it again. And it seems like if that like last break of camaraderie has ended, then I don't know where those guys go. Like, once again, they have to go to like an international team or start building up from the ground up again.
Or beg for a spot on Outlaws, who will be like, actually, we're doing just fine. We don't need all
like we're about to win Assembly, so fuck you guys.
Well, although they're losing the first map to Dizlon, 3-13.
Okay, so maybe they're not about to win Assembly.
We'll see. We'll see whose map it goes. All right, so iGame removed Zen. I mentioned that already, so not much to say there. Did they bring in a permanent replacement?
They have Juho/Juhob standing in. Nothing official there yet. But did you see the Twitlonger that Zen put out? It was like a very odd one, don't you think?
I didn't see it.
He basically said that like the issue was like they wanted him to move into the house, and like he has a girlfriend, so he like wasn't about it, and so now he's like not with the team. So.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
You know my opinions. I'm just like a bitter loner kind of guy, and I think significant others should never factor into any career choices you make in your entire life. But plenty of people would call me just like a piece of shit, so I understand.
Well, I like would tend to agree with you, but I also just think that gaming houses are stupid.
Yes.
I think gaming houses, at least in CS, have never proven to do anything like good for anyone.
I think so too. Has there ever been a good correlation? Like, think about it.
I can only think of negative ones.
Yeah.
Like,
you're
maybe Cloud9 is like the best example.
Not even. It looked like that didn't end so well. You had Shroud like going back in tears to Toronto to stream for the rest of his life. Actually, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, you have CLG. They became a cult. They're not a CS:GO team. They're just a cult. And
yeah, but that's because they have a feminist. Now they that whole thing.
I forgot about the correlation between cults and feminism. Good point. Thanks, bro. Anyways, TSM got weird. Like, they just fell apart. Any European examples? EnVyUs, when they had the team house, that didn't go so well.
That team house was that was a train wreck.
Yeah, it was a train wreck.
Nip did the team house for a while, and it, like, drove them fucking insane.
Yeah. I mean, when you really find out how much Freiburg eats...
Well, I mean, so yeah, I mean, iGame have a house, and they made like a big deal about it when they were able to go official and get a house. So I mean, like, cool for them. Tricked have a game house, but look at Astralis. Astralis don't have a gaming house. Astralis have a gaming office. Like, they
much better.
They go to work, to an office to work. Like, you don't need to live and breathe your work. Like, if I had to fucking go home and like hang out with my boss at work as well, I'd fucking kill him.
Yeah.
He'd kill me as well. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and plus, like, you get to the gaming house, and then you find out your teammates are all just as big losers as you. You're sitting there on Friday, it's like, oh, finally, we stopped all our practices. You guys want to go out?
Now we can go out. Yeah, and they're like,
no. I'm going to play H1Z1.
I'm going to take a break from playing 10 hours of Counter-Strike to play 10 hours of H1Z1 until 6 a.m. and probably miss a qualifier that we have to play tomorrow. Oops.
That's much more of an NA thing. Or like, NA has this culture of like, oh great, you're professional gamers. Turns out like you guys can always brag about how you're waking up at 3 p.m. Most people can't.
Right.
Oh, my sleep schedule's so fucked up. Like, I'll fix it soon. All right. Nope. Anyways, there's a little aside on gaming houses. We had 2 news stories in a row of what I would call begging. First, we had Crystal.
I would say one person is begging, or really a cry for help, and the other one is actually like, these guys are gonna get a good deal, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. You're right. But yeah, the first was Crystal, the German player seeking opportunities,
saying, "Please, anywhere but Penta. Please, oh God, get me out of here."
And meanwhile, Sunny's on that team, like, what the fuck am I doing here with Stefan? All right, yeah. So there's that, and then we had the XTP players. Calic's still there.
Passage, not double penetration.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they're looking for a new home. You're right. They probably could very well get a good deal considering their sort of tier 2 up and coming strength. Okay, you ready for a good one?
Yep.
My God, la 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 la. Yeah. So QWERTY disbanded.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming? Everyone.
Yeah. I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of remains to be seen what's going to happen to those guys. Like, they've seemingly paired off, so Venton and Slap were playing in the qualifier together, or Adder and Slap, I forget. And Peta and Michaelele were playing together, but of course now we've seen that Michaelele plans to get his old band back together once again with Iakum and Fox and two
question mark people.
Unnamed. Yeah, 2 question mark people,
Dude,
so it's going to be good.
They don't look alright. Maybe they should go to the hospital. I've never seen someone with a head shaped like that. Those 2 guys.
Those are like, that's just Rain's head and Scream's head, isn't it? Or like Dennis's head. It's an old picture.
What are you talking about? With those question marks. Have you ever seen a person with a head that looks like that? They should go get themselves looked at.
Okay, now you're fuck off.
Anyways, by the way, do you hear like weird stomping going on my mic?
I do.
Yeah, dude, someone is like doing a ritual dance, like a fertility dance for spring upstairs.
You fucking polls are weird.
Yeah, we are, man.
You're doing the Virtus Pro dance, like, oh yeah. Gonna win the next major, please.
or else we might actually have to do a roster. Oh wait, never mind, we're traveling again. Anyways, so yeah. So final piece of news: Maniac joining LDLC. Switzerland lives on in Counter-Strike.
Barely.
But yeah.
And you buy a thread.
Yeah, same with LDLC, kind of like a barely team, you know. But I mean, they're
in pro league. They're in pro league, so we'll see how they do.
Oh my god, they are. You reminded me. Okay, all right. So this could be something interesting. Alrighty. CIS. I got nothing on my radar. Seems like they're content.
Let me think. Yeah, there's really not anything happening.
Yeah, just let Navi be the Titans there, and that's it.
Other than just persistently and just always ornery and disgruntled owners of CIS-based teams, nothing really going on there.
Is that a reference to what?
Some people should realize that they're memes and are being laughed at, not laughed with. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Same thing. We're bringing it back. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I got it. All right. So, in Africa/Asia, that's the new term for this one, to be politically correct. First of all, this happened a while ago, but Bravado released Black Poison and Goals, and it was mentioned that Black Poison was seeking international offers. Not the first time he's gone abroad. We talked about it. We could probably get him on the show, honestly. He's like a good buddy.
So a little bit of insight I actually have here is that, which is now outdated, so I don't feel bad about revealing it, but I know that at least for a while, Black Poison was shopping himself around with Maniac. So they were trying to get a package deal somewhere, anywhere, please God, please get me out of here. Once again. But obviously that is no longer going to be an option because of the LDLC deal that we just mentioned. So we have yet to see where Black Poison will wind up. I do know that there are definitely like premier level teams that are looking to Europe and to bring in free agents to bolster their rosters. I can't say I see a fit for him on a pro league team, but
yeah, he's always kind of a little bit short of that pro league and just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but still, like, I remember Bravado doing well at the Global Challenge, but then they went around the world and didn't do so well at WESG.
Right.
So, always South Africa, like, a bit of like a sad story, always just not good enough, too far away from everything else.
Yeah, I mean, and even if they got that huge breakthrough, like, it's really just Bravado, like, they are the all-star team of South Africa. It's not like you're not going to see like a kaboom effect, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to see one team come to America from South Africa and destroy everyone, and then all of a sudden we're importing South Africans left and right. Like, that's just not the way it's going to play out.
No, yeah. So you're right. It would not. There would never be it would be very hard to get a 5 going of disciplined South African players, but that's just a reality. All right. So, anyways, hold on. I actually need to quickly look at this so I don't get the players wrong. But Boot acquired Dreamscape.
Yeah, forming the most fucking nightmarish team name I've ever fucking seen. You got periods in there. You got square brackets in there. You got a dash in there.
Oh god.
You got a camel case, fucking letter in there. It's abysmal. It's really bad.
So basically, there are two. Yeah. So basically, this is like a very interesting change, though, where you have the Chinese actually scooping up
an international team, yeah,
or Asian team.
Yep.
Realizing maybe that the Chinese players are fucking psycho all over the place, like Dreer.
Dreer
playing from a Microsoft Surface that he made at the factory. Like, as he's making some at the factory, he has like a second one where he's like, "Oh!"
Dreer, Mr. Six, and Oi. They're a threesome to be feared. Okay,
agreed.
Keep an eye out for those guys. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Chinese orgs have traditionally been very nationalistic, only willing to pick up their superior Chinese brethren. And well, maybe with the Tyloo situation, they're coming to realize that maybe the superior Chinese brethren aren't as pliable as they thought that they would be,
Yeah.
and as controllable.
We talked about that on episode 14, right? The one before the guests. We must
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Tyloo for sure.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Boot have 2 teams now, and the other one is the one coached by DSN.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they have a Chinese team, and now they have this international team. And they, interestingly, they may not be the last Chinese organization to kind of sign a team from abroad. So
well, they picked up this Singaporean team, who obviously are one of the ones you and I like to talk about, Dreamscape. But we did have a team that we were a fan of from Malaysia, although the last few events they've been kind of playing like shit. But before that, they were good. It'd be nice to see them picked up by a Chinese team.
JYP Gaming, yeah. Although apparently that dude is like rich, the guy that owns that org. So
okay, gotcha. I think it's just everything, bro. I'm in envy of your intelligence.
You should be.
All right, so we are at the 1 hour mark and we're still in Global Scoop. So I will very quickly just say that tournaments in Oceania will continue because Acer CGPL Autumn was announced and the ESL ANZ Championship. What is this, season 3?
Yes, it would be season 3 of that. Okay. We have the Zen League as well, which was supposed to be starting today, but has been pushed back a month.
Yeah, which we've been talking about. But yeah, so just know that unlike South Africa, well, South Africa of course has their own internal structure too, but just know that there's a lot of potential in Oceania. And finally.
And although the rumors are that their Oceania may be getting like a huge event soon, like maybe a 3-letter event. That starts with an I, and then has an E, and an M.
I gotcha. I thought you were about to say Crown's Invitation. I was like, oh, you mean an event that takes place in a casino where drunk men just watch? They're like, what?
Sounds great.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, that could be happening.
Okay, I believe it. So, one final thing. Travis Wizard Richardson left Tainted Minds. It made HLTV, but that's because we've got our boy Flames. But is this who, or is this not who?
No, this isn't who. I mean, Tainted Minds are it in Australia.
Right. Sorry.
They are. Yeah, this is the former.
I was still thinking of them as Atletico.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is kind of a big deal, and it looks like they'll be adding Dexter, formerly of Winter Fox, who we want to talk about. You know, we were laying into SK and Immortals before. Winter Fox is right up with them. They had 4 months to announce that they let Dexter go, and they are adding Raz. I'm just gonna fucking say it. I don't care anymore. They're adding Raz from Parallax, and still hasn't been announced. I actually made this tweet. Dexter might be the first person to fly halfway around the world to play in a team, get cut from the team, fly all the way back home, and join 2 further teams without any sort of an announcement. It's actually incredible.
That is actually incredible. That guy, you got to feel bad for that guy. It's like nobody.
It's very unique.
Yeah. All right, guys.
But, it does look like they'll be using him as a 5th.
So, as you saw, a massive global scoop. A lot was going on. A lot more will be going on. We'll never be out of things to talk about. Our political show will never show up. Kidding. That'll have to be on a separate time.
Then our career would be over.
Yeah. All right. So, oh god, why isn't it showing up? There we go. Who now? I actually don't want to spend a lot of time here. So if you have any ones you want to talk about, you can go ahead. I don't want to run through the list as I usually do. I guess taking a look, our favorite, team that only has their ESEA fees paid, Vault.
Those guys stay making changes. They haven't gone like a week in the new year without making a change.
Yeah, so they're changing players. They're Colombian Venezuelan team.
Let me see.
Do they have another nationality? No, it's Colombia and Venezuela. Yeah.
We had a huge German shuffle happen, which is kind of interesting in light of the Crystal news. So Crystal kind of missed the boat on this whole shuffle that happened. Changes in Poland, where we see Manice back on top Polish team. So he's on Pride, which I guess would be the third
That's what I would say.
Polish team. Icelandic shitters, Danish shitters.
Fucking shitters.
Pain Gaming got dropped by their organization because they didn't have enough money to fund them after purchasing like some league team.
Nice.
Gay.
Yeah.
And Lula will the four of those players are staying together, but Lula will be heading back to Brazil because he has some like medical issues or something. Oh, you know what's a good one? I'm not seeing it. Here it is. Merciless Gaming, which is the team that I was affectionately calling Left in Brazil, LIBR.
Yeah.
So Bit, Spaka, PRG, Ktex, and Delboni, the youngster. So this is actually an organization that, as far as I can tell, has been put together by Apaka, so the former coach of Luminosity, and he's actually like, like kind of revered in Brazil, like as a Fallen before there was a Fallen. Like if you talk to old school Brazilian players like a Fallen, they will say that they kind of learned like everything about playing the game at a high level at the hands of Apaka. So that's his new project. That team will be coming to the U.S. They'll be the fifth or sixth Brazilian team in the U.S. And then we of course have the Orbit boys over in Sweden, who played their first officials in the Katowice qualifier and made top 32. So that's pretty decent for literally just touching down. So look forward to see them in probably some online cups and such.
Now, I just saw something that gave me a huge what the fuck moment. Detonator, you know, the Japanese team, you know how I love to talk about them?
Yep.
They added a Brazilian player?
Yeah, I did see that as well, and I don't have the story on that, actually. That's my bad. That's
I don't know about that, but the second largest expat population of Japanese people, or the largest, I don't even think it's the U.S., is in Brazil. There's a big history.
Yeah, we talked about that, actually. Yeah.
Oh, we did? Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah. I believe that actually, you know, S1, so from the Pain Gaming crew, I think that he actually is like a mixie, I believe. If you look at him, he definitely has some Asianness going on there.
As they say in Japanese, a hafu. But yeah, I'm not even kidding. That's what they call people of mixed race.
Just sounds bad.
Yeah. Dude, they don't care about political correctness or whatever.
Oh, God bless their hearts.
The Asians do not, man. Anyways, and Shoshi came back from a bit, but he went inactive again. That guy is like, I don't know.
He's like the Neil of CS players. Neil is to Counter-Strike coverage person as Soshi is to Counter-Strike player. You know, it's just like, oh, I'm out of here, I'm retired, and then a week later it's like, I'm back. Who's excited?
I saw some. You know what I saw? This is a good who, but I couldn't tell you for my life anymore who was. But I saw a lot of UK players shit talking over the last few weeks. One player was calling another like shit. Like, I'm glad I'm not. No matter what, but I'll be better than this guy. Shit. And someone else accused someone of cheating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, there's been like you have UK Masters and like UK Premiership happen, like UK Grand Tours, whatever. So there's like all these UK specific events going on. So tensions are high, and then with all this endpoint stuff as well, there's been a lot of flow of conversation as well about like who deserves to be in Premier, who doesn't. Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that coming up actually. So.
Gotcha. Oh, we didn't mention. Oh God, we didn't mention this. HLTV didn't cover this. What happened to Signature Gaming? The Thai team. My girl Olivia is gone.
No, we talked about this, didn't we? We talked about the huge about your girl Jenny getting a huge army of people.
Oh no, right. Oh, Olivia isn't a girl. Oh my God, dude, I'm so.
Yeah.
This is.
Come on, bro.
I got like 4 hours of sleep. Don't.
Oh, any excuses, dude?
All right.
Come on.
All right. Anyways, yeah. So but we didn't talk about this wave. This was only. No, okay. This was like a week ago.
Yeah, maybe we didn't talk about this one, but yeah, there's been like in general shakeups in Thailand.
All right, and final point. Actually, 2 final points. I see Summit being officially added to Mythic.
Yep, the new stream team.
And I guess if we did want to cover, I guess if we did want to cover CIS, Philin was taken off Quantum Bellator Fire.
Yeah, and then he's playing with like a all Ukrainian lineup. He was playing in that LG Cup with his new team, I think, which is like Shara and him and like probably like Def and Crush, so like that kind of old explosive crew again.
But yeah, a shit ton of movement happening at all levels. I guess it's that time of year after the major.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the lower level, it's more because of, like, we're between ESEA seasons, and so, like, ESEA just started back up again, so there was tons of movement hither and thither.
Well, I'm going to ask you to talk about that in a second, about some ESEA stuff. In fact, why not go straight into Shady and Spooky?
Shady and Spooky.
The font is a little weird because I wrote these because I didn't have them on this PC, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just not all uniform. Don't worry, Joe. Don't get scared. So yeah, there was some ESL, look how it just springs to mind in this section. there is some ESEA stuff. I saw something about their decision with a UK team for Premier, right?
Yeah.
So run us through.
So Endpoint that I previously mentioned, were originally demoted from Premier. They're back in now, but we're not there yet. So you have to understand that the way that Premier has worked is that it's completely arbitrary, kind of like who gets demoted, who gets promoted, and from whence. Like, it's just completely up to the discretion of ESEA.
You can just say whence, because whence means from where.
Whatever.
It's like people who say comprised of. It's composed of or comprised. It's not comprised of.
Okay, so don't be that person. No one likes that guy.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So a rule of Premier was supposed to be is that if you forfeit 4 games, then you are out of the league next season. Now we have Major Legends, Gambit Gaming, who had forfeited 4 games and were supposed to be removed from the league, but lo and behold, were not. And this caused another team to have to be cut from the league from last season, which happened to be Team Endpoint. And then you saw a post from SEO on Reddit talking about how he had asked an ESEA admin earlier in the season about like what the cutoff would be for teams, and they said it would be like 4 or 6 teams, and they were the 7th ranked team or something, like from the bottom. So they were like, cool, we're good. And then they wake up one day and check ESEA, or like get a message from their manager or owner or whatever, and they're like, hey, like I just got refunded all the ESEA money. You should see what's up. They had been moved down to main. So that was a whole big drama. Then you had drama about this the former Easy Premier roster. They were briefly Kingsmen, and then they are now Orgos Kings, who were then kicked from Premier because you had a player, Mopoth, a Spanish player, Lucas's boyfriend, who was accused by another player of like playing for multiple teams on like account sharing, essentially. Now you might say, well, but that player who did all this narking was just cut from the team, so maybe he has some ulterior motives. Who knows? All I know is that the team is demoted from Premier. They've been booted back to Open. You won't be seeing Smooya, the UK god, in Premier this season. Mopoth is banned for 4 months. Like everyone involved got a ban of some varying length. It's a fucking shit show. And yeah.
So maybe to do like a more analytical, would you say a lot of this issue it's been showing up for a few years now, but it's always getting like worse and worse with ESEA's decision making for teams that make it into Premier? Does it just come from the fact that people want more professionalism, but it's still, as you said, a little bit arbitrary? Like they just like going by the old school way of doing it?
Well, it's because they don't have hard and fast rules. It should just be said every season, for a league that like, for an organization that publicly makes a lot of their case for like why they are good for the community as being, oh, we provide a way for teams to progress from open to the professional leagues, in some linear fashion. Like, for there not to be a set in stone way of every season we have X many teams in Premier. At the end of the season, we demote Y and we promote XYZ from the following levels. It might be 4 from main, the winner of intermediate, and the winner of open, or something like that. But it should be, if that's the approach that they want to have, that's what they need to do. Now, if actually their goal is to actually make the most competitive Premier division possible, then they need to say that will be our goal, and we will kick and place teams here at will. And if you're signing up to play here, then that's just the way that it is, and you have to deal with that. What they actually had was like a weird bastardization of both of them, where they were saying, we'll move up some teams, we'll move down some teams. We don't really know. It's kind of, whatever we feel like.
Yeah, it's an interesting issue because it's contingent on so many factors. First of all, the fact that CS compared to other sports, I mean, someone tell me it's not a sport, but yeah, compared to other competitive disciplines, it's so random. Like, honestly, sometimes an open team, on a 1 out of 100 chance, could beat a Fnatic or a G2. They're just all hitting their shots. So, yeah, I guess that's what introduces that level of inconsistency. But then you get those teams, they win that qualifying game, and then they come into the Pro League, and nobody knows who they
smashed.
are. They're not, they get smashed. They're not making ESEA/ESL revenue because nobody watches those fucking games. Nobody cares about them. Nobody knows who they are. Their merchandise doesn't sell. So, yeah, I guess you have to be a little bit Shady Spooky to make it work. I mean, let's not forget, Virtus Premier never happened. I was so excited. It never happened. I will, on my deathbed, my final words will be, where are Virtus Premier? Yeah, so, I mean,
in the ensuing, 70 years of our lives, it might happen. So,
yeah.
But
it's just complicated because I see the problems on both sides. I see the lack of rules, but then I see the inherent instability. Not to mention, half of these players are fucking children, and they fight and they leave teams all the time. So,
well, so specifically, let's talk about Gambit, right? That's a line that you have to hold, because for a fact, if fucking Team Endpoint did the same exact thing, they'd be fucking out, no questions asked. So that's a clear instance of people getting preferential treatment. And of course we know it happens, and it's never going to be completely stamped out, because that the fucking GODSENT guys and the Gambit guys and whoever else is in Premier that is considered a elite team, they're going to get more leeway with scheduling, with showing up late to matches and all that shit. And so, kind of like Brett said on Reddit, he was kind of like, yeah, they broke the rule and it's not ideal, but we believe that they are the most competitive team that we could put back in Premier, so we've invited them back. And with the unspoken saying of we hope they get their shit together so that we don't have to deal with this for another season. Interesting tidbit is that right away, the Gambit's first game of Premier season didn't pay their league fees on time. Couldn't fucking play the match. And guess what happened? They were not handed a forfeit loss. They were not kicked out of the league. They were just rescheduled. So,
good shit.
Yeah.
Good shit. Yeah, I mean, the Eastern Europeans have always been notorious for disrespecting ESEA's kind of stricter rules. They're like, but why can't we have it the old ESL way? Where I call a friend, you call a friend.
Europeans in general have a very tenuous relationship with the ESEA system. If you look at how Premier functions in North America versus Europe, it's night and day. North America, you have a match week, you play a map, everyone has their fucking matches played that week. Europe, you have fucking people playing week 2 matches in week 14, vice versa. It's a fucking disaster.
Yeah. Is Illuminati, the British guy, still the main guy in charge of scheduling there?
He, I believe, has moved up to a more senior oversight role. It's actually Regnum, I think, who's in charge of scheduling French player.
I feel bad for all of them, to be honest. That's a stressful job right there. Well, I mean, how stressful? You're not calling people. You're just messaging them on Steam. So I guess it's not that stressful, but whatever. All right, so Joe. I saw Bloominator's dick. I didn't want to see that.
Yeah, I didn't. I saw that he was potent as fuck. Daddy was potent.
You didn't see it, but you saw that he was potent. What the fuck does that mean?
No, what? No,
Wait,
I saw the screens. I asked for the screens on Twitter.
I was like, how can you not see a dick but then comment about its size? Like, that was weird.
No,
what are you fantasizing about?
No, I'm not talking about the dick itself. That's just a meme. Daddy is potent. You missed that? That was.
No, I didn't read the logs. I didn't read the logs.
Oh, I can send them to you if you want.
No, I've seen them. Dude, am I gonna read some guy chatting? Actually, I guess it's kind of funny. Maybe I should read it.
It's entertaining. Like, there's entertainment value in there. We should actually maybe do a live stream, like a drunk live stream reading. That's actually probably like illegal on some.
Didn't he say something about that he can deliver a lot of cum or something like that?
Probably. I think that's probably was right after or before the potent section. Like, and it is potent. And
well,
Daddy's potent.
I mean, peace out, Bloominator, you fucking scrub. Like, see you again.
See you in 3017. The only person to be banned longer than Arky Monday.
It's interesting though, because I remember when the early days, like he would pop up here and there on HLTV playing games, but I mean, that's it, end of the road, you know. You act like a piece of shit, you get your comeuppance eventually.
Rest in peps.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. So I was streaming last night, and one of my loyal viewers, they mentioned this Bloominator thing, and then they mentioned another name. This is what you see on the outline here. They said some kid, I think it starts with an S. You've probably heard of it. His brother got him into like main or premier, and he got heavily banned because he was always like toxic and talking shit. No?
I don't know. I mean, I know Nitro's brother is in like rank S because I was talking to his mom. This isn't a joke. I was legit, had a very nice conversation. Shout out to Mrs. Canella.
Nice.
No, I don't know. Who's the S kid?
I don't know. Was there some kid who was banned recently? Where do you see recent bans in ESEA?
There is a page, but it's kind of like a nightmare to go through. Let's see what we got here.
Ban list. Ban. Shusen? No, it's someone who's banned for a long time. Not for ban evasion either. Yeah, it'll be hard to find, to be honest. It was some kid, like some 14-year-old, really.
City? No.
Maybe. No. Maybe it wasn't with an S. But anyways, his like brother got him into a premier main team. I'm sure one of our viewers will know. It was like big. It was on the forums. He was really toxic. Finally, Few hit him with like a ban. Oh, he TK'd him in a game or something like that. I don't know. I trust this guy, so I don't think he's making shit up. I don't think you can do that though. Maybe he's exaggerating.
Oh, I did see a Reddit thread about banned from ESEA because I annoyed Few or something.
Really?
Maybe that's the same thing. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, anyways, okay, so I just brought that up. I thought you might know, but it's really irrelevant as fuck. So finally there was some drama with the fact that it was revealed by, I don't know who that guy is. Obviously he's related to EG, but it's not the owner. The owner of EG is the Dota player now, right? PPD?
Yeah, PPD, yeah.
But it was like revealed that EG were kind of cock-blocked from having a CSGO team because I don't know if he said Cloud9 TSM, but it was like implied.
Well, he said like North American owners, North American CSGO owners headed by Jack from C9 said they would like boycott Twitch if that were to happen.
So I guess the only thing here is, from my side, is just to say that the NA team owners are behaving like there are scarce resources, which is very strange to me because it's a market where there are expanding resources. I don't know. I'm just thinking about the psychology behind the behavior.
Well, I mean, so actually, in this instance, I might actually have to side with the teams. Like, gotcha. I think like the state that EG existed in at the time, and up until very recently, was the fact that EG was a subsidiary of Twitch. They were the same company, you know what I mean? So you definitely, as a owner, would kind of feel a little bit weird about that if like the platform that you're generating revenue from, like from your guys streaming, that all your matches are played on, like I can definitely see why some people would be not super thrilled with that.
Well, not just generating revenue, they're also taking a cut of some of
Yeah.
money that you would normally be getting, or your guys
Yeah.
would be getting.
Yeah. So in a way, you like would think that you're actually funding your competitors. What I don't see is I'm not sure why this wouldn't be like why would this not have come up in the other games? You know what I mean? Like it would be it was the same in Dota. No, like Dota has like EG had a Dota team back then. Like why was that not an issue? Or maybe that's because that team existed before the good game agency thing happened. I don't really know. I'm not.
That's probably why. And probably because the EG were shopping around for a team, so it threatened the owners who were already in the space, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, anyway, that's like old news from like iBuyPower, Wicked Masterminds, like era like stuff. So this isn't like a new thing. This is like this recently come to light or whatever. And who can say if it's accurate or not? Of course, Jack says no, it's not. You don't know what you're talking about. The other guy says yes, I do know what I'm talking about.
And then all of Reddit is like, Jack is a scumbag. He wants to make money. That's wrong.
He is awful. He's awful. Yeah.
Wanting to make money is bad because we should all be, you know, not making money.
Yeah.
Goddamn socialists.
Oh, but you know what? Like before we sign off here, in the vein of the 14-year-old player thing, did you catch all this Frozen nonsense?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
It's a goddamn shame.
Yeah. I think I saw Peter trying to wade into the fight on Twitter.
I think Peter might have actually started the fight because Peter tweeted about the fact that he was 14. Peter tweeted about the fact that he was 14, and then a certain person that we may have alluded to twice already on the show was responding to those, and I think a light bulb may have gone off in his head, and let's just say his team may or may not have benefited from what transpired.
But didn't also our favorite PR manager, what shall I call him? The not so honest disc jockey? Right, the lying DJ?
A little less, yeah.
Yeah.
The not fully truthful
disc jockey. Didn't he get involved? Wasn't he making comments, or was that something else?
No, that was something else. That was with the this Hollywood guy coming into ESL that's talking about like
yes.
we need to find the Joe Buck of esports, and we want to make people pay for like to watch portions of events and like pay-per-view events and all this shit. So that was a separate thing, but yeah.
I didn't really follow that, so I can't talk about it. I did see the Twitter fight though, with him involved. I think Monte Cristo got involved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just another day in the salt mines for the ESL PR crew.
Oh yeah, because Mihao Carmack was like something, and then Monte Cristo was like, "Oh, good luck trying to find the Joe Buck," and Carmack was like, he went full Polish mode. He's like, "I do not know who that is."
Yeah, right. I don't even know who that is.
Now you gotta do it with the heavy, like drunken Polish voice, like, "Please, I understand."
There were some drunk Poles in Atlanta. I mean, you can imagine.
Yeah,
that was rough.
Rough as in like they were sad.
Yeah, wouldn't you be fucking sad? Like the fashion that you lost that match in, I'd be fucking crushed.
Okay. Speaking of which, recent tournaments. The only thing we will talk about here is the major. We kind of talked about it though throughout this show, and not that I'm trying to like shorten our remaining 2 sections and get out of here, but maybe just instead of talking about you and I can each name a team that we thought did better than expected, and then you can tell us some Atlanta stories, unless you have something else you want to say. But I think that's like a good way to wrap this one up well.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, a team that did better than expected, you have to say Gambit, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't think anyone, they had a good showing at DreamHack winning it, obviously, have shown market improvements with the addition of Zeus, but I don't think anyone really, like, seriously thought that Gambit would retain their legend spot. So Gambit, for me, definitely were the surprise package, or, like, one of the surprise packages of the major. What about you?
Well, I was definitely sad when they lost to Fnatic. As you know, I do not like seeing Swedish teams go far in the majors because they always do it. So I'm like, please, just throw them out for a bit.
Time. Yeah.
But I would say Fnatic though, funnily enough.
Yep.
Even though I just said I don't like seeing them go far, I was very surprised, and I do think it was sorry, I'm blanking. Disco Doppelin and Twist. Maybe they're sad they're on GODSENT and they've been put back into the Who zone, but how many players get to say they played in the semifinal of a major? So
Yeah.
yeah,
And did, pretty adequately. Twist more than Doppelin, I would say. But yeah, they performed adequately. I didn't have them making it out. Oh, you know what? SK as well. You have to, like, I was in that crowd of people that were counting out SK. Like, there's no way that in a stack tournament like this you can function with having, a stand-in, and they got far as well. So
yeah,
you really have to, if you're a person right now that like somehow is trying to desperately come up with some like reason or logic for why SK isn't a good team, you're fucking crazy. Like, those dudes, they're a fucking insane team. Like,
yeah. And not to mention that Fox, the old dog, actually pulled some tricks.
Yeah, and I think some of that was certainly like to Fallen's detriment. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we saw a heavily diminished Fallen than we're used to.
Yeah,
which is a function of they had a month to prepare, so they're not going to change everything around. Like, they slotted Fox in. They let Fox do what he was comfortable with doing, and Fallen like did what he could with what was left. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But yeah.
It was still interesting though to see them do that. You're right. I had counted them out too. I think I had them in my not advancing to the playoffs in my pick'em, but I then went to Orlando and without my laptop and couldn't do the rest of the pick'ems.
Oh no!
I got 8 stickers for no reason, or 10 stickers. Yeah.
That's a rip.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Yeah, I was 1 point away from silver. It fucking kills me.
I have yet to get a gold pick'em. I always, except for ESL Cologne 2016 and MLG Columbus, which I was at. So actually, yes, ESL Cologne 2016 is the only major where I have not had some overlapping time commitment that fucks me up. So I can't do pick'ems well, which is weird considering I got drops at every major until this one. R.I.P.
I didn't leave my computer running on stream, which I should have when I left. That was a mistake. So I didn't watch. Like, I wasn't eligible for drops for any of the playoffs. So this might be the first major that I didn't get a drop at, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, me too.
I started off my pick'em career very well. Like, I got like golds, like all golds for the first 4 or 5. I feel like there were a lot less upsets back then. Or at least when pick'em started, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, if you're actually smart about it, you'd probably get gold. The problem why I've never gotten a gold pick'em is because I always pick a team that I want to win, not a team that is going to win. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Well, also, I think that the pick'em this time around was executed horribly. Like, the fact that you had to pick your playoff bracket like all the way through at the beginning was fucking terrible. Yeah. It just fucked over so many people. So that was awful.
And I forget who tweeted about it, but someone said, like, just wait for the players' surprise when they see how much less money they get this time around, because the player stickers weren't mandated in the pick'em. So,
right.
So, like, if you don't, there's no half the people who don't really know these players and are just like, oh, purchases on Steam. They're not gonna buy.
I didn't buy a single player sticker.
Me neither.
So yeah, I think that was a bad move from Valve, for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt the players. Yeah. So I guess just in a little part of me was happy to see Astralis finally win a major. I mean, deserving. I'm against the idea of deserving, but their skill was putting them, the core of that team, their skill was putting them so close to that achievement that it had to happen eventually. Otherwise, it would be tragic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they got it, and I hope that they can continue rolling. Yep. They look like they're looking good. So
it's like my boss says in his thick Alabama accent, just keep on.
There you go.
Keep on roll. Got to keep on working. So finally, I guess this is actually quite important. Whoa. Oh, I didn't. Oh yeah, I forgot. Our final section is not called CSGO anymore.
Oh no!
It's called the Weekly Fuck Valve Minute. So, to close off the show, just a quick mention: Inferno is in the active duty now. So, as people already pointed out, VP much strengthened Mousesport's dead in the water. Yeah, an interesting time.
French team's also dead.
Yeah, a little something that's a little less mentioned was the changes on Overpass, which were quite extensive compared to some Russian guy made a video on bomb stuck spots and bad textures. I think that'll actually affect the game because what he pointed out was all these places where incorrect sounds were playing, and it's in a lot of parts of the map, like connector, all of the stairs, in like the connecting A-B area, the wood planks on B site, some of them were playing the cement walking sound, which I never noticed because like I don't pay attention to that when I play, but I'm sure the pros do. So it could really change a lot of information spotting on that map. But I mean, Overpass is not so liked anymore, so or it is, but it's not Cobble, but
it gets played a lot, but I don't know if people like it.
I still see people talk shit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cobble had that cubby added, so that's interesting. But yeah, those were the changes. As for the weekly Fuck Valve minute, though, I was pretty disgusted to see a lot of material during the major where Valve seemed to take credit for things. It was honestly disgusting.
Yeah. Specifically, the video where they're talking about always, keeping their finger on the pulse of the community and like keeping in touch with the community, that actually made me vomit a little bit the first time that I heard that.
Dude, these developers would fit right in on the Berkeley campus right now.
Oh yeah.
They live in a bubble.
Yeah, they'd be getting pepper sprayed.
No, actually, wait. It would be the people who were trying to come with a dissenting opinion who would be getting pepper sprayed.
Right. The evil fascists. My bad.
And it would be the actual fascists, the ones who are destroying stuff, who would be pepper spraying them. I got it wrong, guys. I'm sorry. Silly old me. Yeah, but it was. I thought that was obnoxious. I mean, clearly it's just like a marketing product. When the Turner guys are making it, they're not thinking critically about it, and the Valve guys are like, "Oh yeah, sure." But as someone who cares so much about the game, who memes so hard, who's been here, will continue to be here even when I'm getting ground into dust at my wage slave job. Yeah, it was just annoying.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. I also thought the player profiles were like pretty lacking this time around. Like they didn't have the punch of the old ones. Like the cold one was pretty good. The Neo one was okay. I thought the simple one, which like by all rights should have been like the best one, like just was very lacking, in my opinion. Were those the only three that there were?
Dude, I didn't watch any of them. I gotta go watch them on Valve's YouTube. Like I said, I missed the group stage, or I missed a lot of it because of my business trip to Orlando. Right. And like when I did tune in, they weren't playing them, so and I didn't seek them out because I forgot to. So I gotta watch them. I'll let you know. Yeah. So I think we're good. We do need to do something live. I think it'd be great. I'm starting to like with my new PC streaming because it's so easy. Like I can hold above 300 FPS.
Yeah.
Do whatever I want.
Do it.
Yeah. We should do something. And yeah, we should get a guest too. But I think we're good.
You want to do Atlanta stories? Is that you want to do Atlanta stories, or do you not care?
Oh no, I care. Go ahead. Tell us.
I'm trying to think of one that I can actually tell. This is a fairly innocuous one. So this is the night that I flew in. So this was Thursday night. I went directly from the airport to the team hotel, which wasn't where the HLTV guys were staying. We were staying at a different hotel. But the way that the team hotel works is after a hard day of playing computer games, everyone congregates down at the team hotel bar and is out there drinking the night away until it closes down at like midnight or 1 or whatever.
Dude, it's like that at every event.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. I love it. That's why I go. People
who... Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but people who like to see just players drunkenly fraternizing would have loved the environment at Columbus. That bar.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
Everyone was there. Yeah. The W bar is like, okay. So I get there and talking to people for hours. Yeah. Everyone's there. Players are there. Management's there. Owners are there. Well, we're like pretty much the only press there.
Dave from RGN is there.
Yeah.
Why is he here?
But by the end of the night, like we were closing the place down, and we're with the HLTV owners So it was Pear and Martin was having a grand old time. And the last thing that happened before we left to go back to the hotel was Martin got onto Nico's lap and took a selfie with him. So that was pretty exciting. But also that night we were talking. We had talks with Happy and Pronax about various things going on in the scene. So that was very cool. That was very fun. I'm trying to think of another good story that I could tell. Sasquatch was there. Your boy Steve hung out with him.
Dude, he is at every event. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, well, he just quit his job, so he has some more free time. And apparently
his
he's
real
like
job, like his Microsoft job or whatever.
Yeah, he quit that, and he's apparently a good luck talisman for the Brazilians. So they bring him out to events. Although it didn't work out this time.
Nah.
But I think he'll keep getting the invite.
Yeah, he's definitely a staple. Any VIP room I would go into, he'd be there. Yeah.
Couldn't fucking get in this time. I got in once, and then after they told me I had to have an escort, and when I tried figuring out what that meant, no one could tell me.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
This is I've always happens. But yeah, no, I was just gonna say. So Martin, he fraternized. The players just love him. He's a teddy bear.
He really is. He's a big Danish teddy bear.
So despite the ginger in the scene having a problem sometimes with our boys, I don't see him getting in anyone's lap or anyone allowing him into their lap.
Not even sure how that's related
to. I'm using. However many people let you sit on their lap is how relevant you are. No, I'm kidding. It's terrible logic. I don't know. Just trying to be edgy. All right, guys. So that concludes this episode. We a little bit on the longer side, but there was a lot to get through, and I hope you enjoyed. Peace out. Oh, whoops. My mouse got in the way. All right. Peace.